partly this afternoon. Highs will be in the 70s on the coast, 70s, low 80s in the valleys. Coming up across the country this fall, hunters are stalking everything from birds to bear, and a good number of those hunters are women.
This is Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Renee Montaigne.
And I'm Steve Inskeep. We're following up this morning on the death of a man named Bill Sparkman. He was a teacher. He was 51 years old. But what seemed to capture attention when he died in a national forest in Clay County, Kentucky, was his part-time job as a U.S. Census worker. He was found with a noose around his neck and the word "Fed" scrawled on his chest. Sparkman's friends are asking questions about his mysterious death. Officials have given little information so far. NPR's Brian Naylor has this report, and we should warn you now that you may find some of the details disturbing.
Bill Sparkman was by all accounts a busy man. Former Eagle Scout leader, Sparkman moved to eastern Kentucky from Florida, took a job as a classroom aide to help his young son in school, and got a teaching degree from an online college. He substitute taught and went door to door as a part-time census worker. Gilbert Achardo is the family resource director for the Johnson Elementary School in London, Kentucky, where Sparkman lived and worked. He says students looked forward to the days when Sparkman filled in.
They'd say, "Who's coming over today? Who's going to be watching us today?" And I'd say, "Mr. Sparkman." And they would be so excited. Probably out of all the people that did the after-school care program, he was the most well thought of. I don't know why. They just had a good rapport with him and he with them.
Sparkman received his teaching degree from Western Governors University, driving to Utah to attend and speak at his commencement. He was also battling cancer at the time.
I have to say a very special thank you to the staff and students at Johnson Elementary School in London. I spent 9 glorious years there, but the last several months have had its ups and downs, and they cheered me on through all of it. I would not be feeling as good as I do without their support.
Sparkman's body was found here at Hoskins Cemetery, a family plot on a hillside within the Daniel Boone National Forest. It's a tranquil spot, well hidden, in solitude disturbed only by the chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves. A pair of discarded latex gloves underneath a tall oak marks the spot where Sparkman's body was discovered. A rope had been tied around his neck, police say, and looped over a tree branch, but his feet were still on the ground. The man who found the body told the Associated Press it had been bound and gagged and was nearly naked. According to the Clay County coroner, on Sparkman's chest, written in a red marker, was the word "Fed." His census ID was reportedly taped to his neck. Investigators have been tight-lipped. Don Trosper is a spokesman for the Kentucky State Police.
It's a death investigation, which means we've not been able to rule out anything other than natural causes. There's all kinds of rumors, speculations, and innuendo, and we deal in facts.
Among the speculation and innuendo is that Sparkman was killed because of his connection to the federal government. The Census Bureau, in a statement, says it has no information that this tragedy was related to Mr. Sparkman's work with the census. Still, it has suspended its field work in Clay County, and the FBI has been assisting the investigation. The hill country of southeastern Kentucky is rural and its residents poor. It's been known to harbor some meth labs and a few marijuana growers, according to Police Chief Jeff Culver of nearby Manchester. But Culver says most folks here are friendly, and by no means is it a hotbed of anti-government sentiment.
I've been here for 20 years, or a little over 20 years, and we've never had any anti-government demonstrations of any kind.
In fact, Culver says it's just the opposite.
Due to the extremely high rate of unemployment, there's a lot of people here that's dependent on the government for assistance.
Gilbert Achardo, himself a retired Kentucky State Trooper, says he warned his colleague of the dangers of working in rural areas. He was most worried that Sparkman might drive off one of the steep, twisting roads. When students at Johnson Elementary were told of their friend's death, some cried. Others wrote on a big card what they would like to have said to him. Achardo says it's difficult for everyone because no one knows what to make of the mystery.
I don't think we've had time to cry yet. I don't think we've had time to mourn yet because we want to know what happened to Mr. Sparkman. We don't.
Bye, bugs.
And until we do know, there won't be any closure for us.
Brian Naylor, NPR News, London, Kentucky.
for more women. Their numbers are holding steady, and when it comes to girls, going up. Doug Nedvornik from the Northwest News Network went to a workshop for women hunters in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
About 24 women are standing in a semicircle in the woods. They're right next to the local rifle and pistol club. On the ground are 2 animal carcasses. Julie McCarley is kneeling next to one of them, a dead deer. She's a conservation officer with the Idaho Fish and Game Department, and she's teaching the women how to remove the deer's innards. She has to talk loudly to compete with rifle shots.
So I cut through the abdominal wall, I have my finger in here. Take your 2 fingers, or have your finger right behind it, and just cut through. This animal is big, and it's floating up, so it's not going to be as pretty.
Most of these women have never hunted, but they're here to learn about shooting, navigating in the woods, and how to prepare what they've killed for the trip home.
Does anyone want to practice cutting and skinning here? Okay.
Jean Spencer steps forward. She says she came to this workshop to prepare for the fall elk hunt.
My first time. I've never done it before. This is my first year.
What made you do it this year?
My husband. He's been doing it. My mom has done it for years, and we want to go out with him and bond more, so I'm going to do it.
According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, 1.2 million women hunt in America. They account for 9% of the total hunting population. The number of male hunters is falling, while the number of women who hunt is stable. There's one group among them that's actually growing.
The numbers of girls who are hunting is increasing exponentially.
Holly Heiser writes a women's hunting blog she calls NorCal Cazadora.
There are a lot more dads who take their girls hunting. It used to be a father-son activity, and now, lesbian lots of dads taking out their little girls, and they're really happy to be out there.
Instructor Julie McCarley was one of those girls introduced early to hunting. In fact, when she talks about hunting, it's often in the context of family. Last season, she hunted elk with her mom and dad.
I got mine, my mom got hers, and my dad got his all in one day, and it made for this great family outing. My mom has lots of pictures of it, and she says that's just one of her best memories of going out on this elk hunt and camping out with us and having a great time.
That kind of enthusiasm can be infectious in workshops like this one. McCarley says some of her former students have come back with their own stories.
A lot of them are excited. They've been out for the first time, and they can't wait to show us their first kill.
In the shooting range, hunting instructor Janine Elias and her husband Larry are training the women to hunt with bows and arrows and rifles.
Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and get your earplugs.
Ready in the firing line? Hey! Safety off! Fire well!
Janine Elias thinks women make good hunters because she believes they're more patient than men and their expectations are lower.
They don't have this idea of, I gotta have the perfect rack on my wall. Like when I go hunting, I'm not looking for the perfect rack on a deer. I'm looking for meat.
Here's another sign that hunting is catching on with women. Apparently the hunting shows on TV are featuring more adventures by female hunters. Whether that will translate into more women hunting may not be known soon. The Fish and Wildlife Service won't conduct its next count of hunters until 2011. For NPR News, I'm Doug Nedvornik in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Good morning, it's 6:49. I'm Sherry Glazer, and you're listening to Morning Edition on 89.9 KCRW.
KCRW sponsors include Humana, one of the area's new health benefits providers, offering a full range of specialty benefits coverage for dental, vision, life, disability, workplace voluntary benefits, and more. Humana.com/specialty benefits.
Still to come on Morning Edition, the man at the center of a major terrorism investigation is due in court in New York today. Najibullah Zazi has been accused of conspiring to use weapons of mass destruction. We'll get the latest.
Support comes from the Geffen Playhouse, presenting Rudy and Keely live at the Sahara. Directed by Taylor Hackford, this musical story set to the beat tells the story of Rudy Kriva and Keely Sahara. It features a live 7-piece orchestra. Rudy and Keely live at the Sahara, now extended throughout the